Hi there fellow designers, and welcome to the third episode of Design Talks channel. Today we're gonna have another very interesting video. You know, like working with a lot of different people is the part of our job, and you know, a lot of designers, especially young designers, find it quite stressful to argue with colleagues, pitch and promote design ideas, and making our professional opinions and ourselves respected. As a person who works as a designer for more than a decade, I'll do my best to share my own tips how to do it better. So let's get started. The first and the most important advice is you should work in a company with enough design centrism level. In case if you didn't watch my previous videos about design centrism, I highly recommend you to do it because it's the essential topic for any designer. So shortly, the level of design centrism shows how certain company values the design and understands its importance for their business. In the video, I was explaining how you can possibly measure that value. So companies who have from 8 to 10, they're extra design-centric companies, or I call them design paradise companies. Other design-centric companies may be from 6.5 up to 7.5, and the companies who have less than 3, I call them design hell companies. In that design hell companies, people usually don't get that a designer is a very serious and responsible profession. And design overall is a complex discipline you have to learn for a long time to be capable to execute on a high level, right? For them, designer is not even an expert. It's someone with a graphic editor knowledge, and design overall is, some kind of fancy art that anyone can do. Yeah, of course, the basis of design thinking is to turn the whole team into this creative mood, and the design should be handled by designers only. Yeah, we have to collaborate with a lot of people, but still they shouldn't dictate us. They shouldn't tell us how we should do our job. In 2017, I and my brother Greg, we were in Germany for Stone's gig, and so we rented a car, and driving in Germany was just a pleasure. The roads were perfect, German people are driving just perfectly without violating any traffic rule, but still they didn't have this cool thing like a timer on the traffic light. We have it in Yerevan, and this is super convenient. You approach the crossroad, you see there are only just 3 seconds left for the green light, so you start slowing down your car for a smooth stop. Yeah, I know the yellow light is there, but still I think this timer is a great idea on how to make Berlin's traffic even way better. So I'm a product designer who never ever worked in any municipal organization. I'm capable to go to Berlin Rathaus with my presumably great suggestion for the governor mayor. But that doesn't make me someone who can perform his job. And it's the same with us. We designers are the professional in every design related thing. And other people should perform as our advisors, supporters, rather than tell us what to do without any professional design background. So companies who get it really deserve their minimum 5 DC point, even if their product's design is not so great. So again, even if you are a great professional, if you are great at pitching and promoting your ideas, but your colleagues do not respect your professional opinion, that's the time to change the job, I guess. Just to clarify, even in an extra design-centric, design paradise companies, you have to speak to people, argue, pitch, promote your ideas. That's the mandatory part of our overall craft, But still, if you work in an environment where people respect you and understand what is design and why it is important, believe me, it's way less stressful to do. Okay, now as we discuss the most important thing, let's dive into some tips on how to be more respected and argue with your colleagues more efficiently. The most important thing for any designer is to think carefully about any solution. Ask yourself first, why is this the best possible way of solving the problem? Why can't we do it in the other way? Again, even if your gut feeling brought to that particular decision, just stop for a while and ask yourself why. Why is this the best way? Sometimes people may ask you why you did it just out of curiosity, especially your boss, just to find out maybe is there any a reason behind this solution, or you are just another I am designer, I know the best person. Answer this question for yourself first and always have a prepared answer for anyone who may ask you. That's it, that's simple. I like to call this state of mind Unagi. That's the total state of awareness and preparedness to defend any design idea in the best possible way. If you struggle with giving explanation, that's okay. That's also a skill you can gain. To do so, I really suggest you to read some case studies written by professional designers and learn from them how they kind of represent what they've done. Then go to mirror, imagine those design bullies and try to explain them why it is right to solve the problem in a way you suggest. Second, this is something that politicians and celebrities are doing in preparation for their interviews. So they and their team analyze what possible questions may the interviewer ask and already have some prepared and figure out answers, okay? So working with some people for a while, you may figure out for yourself what possible questions they may ask you and be always prepared. The second advice is again and again, turn off your ego. When I was a young designer, more senior designers were advising me to tell people, hey, when you go to dentist, you don't tell him what to do, huh? Yeah, that's true. Previously, I was mentioning that non-designers shouldn't dictate us what to do, but still, if you argue with someone who's not a designer and you feel that you are not right, don't even feel bad to admit it, First of all, people don't I would even say they hate, I'm always right person. And if you just promote your idea, not because it's right, but because it's only yours, that will contribute to form some anti-you coalition among your colleagues. Maybe, you can't be always right, that's natural. Even if you are a professional, you can always be right. Maybe there were some things you didn't consider from the very beginning, or maybe you work on this project for too long and your eye is blurred. And if someone gives you a real insight, corrects you, you even have to be thankful for that person. By the end of the day, the credits for great design will be yours. They're just helping you, really. First thing you have to care is the success of your company. Think a little bit further. Maybe if you accept this non-designer suggestion, and that will contribute your company's success, the more successful your company are, the way more successful and well-known at the community you will be. Let's see, who are all these famous product designers? There are people who work or lead design teams in all these great and well-known successful companies, right? The success of your company should be your highest priority, not just winning all the time the arguments. Also, just an example, you may have just 2 or 3 years of experience, and product manager or front-end developer may work with other designers for more than 15 years. And vast majority of that designers are way more senior than you are now. So if I was you, I wouldn't feel that bad to listen to what these people are saying too. Work with them, solve problems together. They're not designers, they can see the whole scope of problem and the whole complex solution. They can give you some great advices and can help you surely a lot. My brother Greg, by the way, is one of the best front-end developers I ever worked with. So once he said to me, I decided to choose front-end over back-end because I like design so much that I want to be a part of its creation. He's not a designer, but he's what I call a design-centric person. I'm lucky to have DC people in my existing job and among my friends, and I would always listen very carefully to every suggestion they have. If it's something good, I will accept it. If it's something not, I will very friendly explain them why we shouldn't move with this idea. Okay, now let's speak how to deal with these so-called design bullies. If there are some people who bother you with interfering with your work, the best possible solution is go and talk to them in person. There are huge psychology studies on how differently the same human acts when he is alone and in crowd. Tell them that you overall respect their interest in design, but explaining all the time the reasons under your each solution, it's very time consuming and overwhelming, So if they're really interested in design, they're always welcome. They can come from the very beginning, from the ideation process and take part in it. Yeah, let them drop off their, for example, code writing and come and do some wireframes with us. They're always welcome. Or if it's impossible for them, They can just write all their ideas and suggestions in some doc and send it to design team. We'll review it, and if they find that something is cool there, we'll always accept the best ideas. We're always open to any great idea, no matter who suggests it. So that's it. You show them the respect, and you suggest them some, like, I don't know, some methodology how they can express themselves, but don't bother you. But if that colleague is a design-centric person, include them into what I call design squad. If you think positively, if the person always comes with design suggestions, that in most of cases means they care about the design, and that's great. More people care about the design, the more design-centric team is. If you show these people respect, they will respect you back, and they will help you. They will implement your mocks enthusiastically. They will help you with prototyping, and the design squad rangers are the best participants in workshops, in design sprints, in ideations, brainstorms. That's the picture. That's the picture of how the atmosphere in a real design-centric team should be. Different people are ideating, collaborating, suggesting ideas, and we designers are facilitating all this creative process and choosing the best ideas to solve the complex problem. So turn your enemies into your allies. That's the best advice. So if you want people to listen to you, you have to gain their respect first. The best way to gain their respect is to respect them back, as mentioned, and to be a great professional. But still, there are some more things to do. Unfortunately, some of our dear colleagues worked hard to create this kind of stereotype about us designers, that we are like artistic, egocentric lunatics who have no ideas of how digital products are made.
Watch yourself.
Right? So you have to prove them opposite. That even if some designers are like that, you are not the one, okay? First, you have to very clearly figure out what is your company strategy. That will gonna help you a lot, Like, let me bring you example. You design some cool, jingling effect for I don't know what. And that's it. But your developers are saying, yeah, that's very cool. We overall like it, what you've done, but it's gonna cost us extra 2 weeks to implement this. And yeah, if your company culture, if your company strategy for this time, you are for example, in most of startups, is we have to move faster, we have to publish this new functionality right before our competitors do, then maybe it's the right decision is not to insist on this custom effect. Maybe you can suggest your developers, hey, okay, let's take some existing effect from library, and maybe we can come back and implement my idea during some iterations. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe vice versa. Your company, in your company, people are paid to always come up with very original, unique ideas and keep everything on a very high quality, including design. So maybe in your company, that 2 extra weeks of work really worth it. So you have to be well aware of your company culture and overall product strategy. Second most important thing is to learn some basics about your colleagues' profession too. For example, the same front-end developers or product managers I mentioned may have some knowledge about the design. Yeah, maybe their knowledge is not so complex as yours, but still they have. And why you shouldn't have some knowledge about their profession? A lot of designers are doing this mistake. They are only studying design, they are only reading about the design, listening to only design podcasts. But it's way better idea to go and read some books about the same product management, marketing, development, growth, and that kind of things. Believe me, that will be way easier for you, and I would say even more joyful to argue with marketing people using their professional language. The same goes for product managers, and especially developers. They do hate designers who are completely non-technical. So if you have some clue on how the development is made, you will prepare a great design, which is not very hard and time-consuming for them to implement. Okay, I'm not saying you should become a developer or marketing specialist or growth hacker. No, of course not, but still you have to have some kind of idea how they work. Believe me, if you do so, you stand among a lot of designers and not be only respected, but even be loved among your colleagues. Okay, as you see, nothing too complicated, but still, yeah, easier said than done. I try to give you some direction that I think are vital, so if you work them out passionately, step by step, with no fear of possible failure, then believe me, no doubt you'll start to enjoy your day-to-day work way more. That's it. If you have more tips that I missed or disagree with everything that I said, feel free to write it in comments. I'll try to answer them all. And see you in a week or two. Bye-bye.